Hi, I'm Brenton, and this is my first of 3 videos on thought and consciousness and the relationships our thoughts have with our physical health and the world around us. Can thinking positively help create the perfect life for us? Can it stop us from getting sick? This is what I wanted to look into in presenting these videos. Many health professionals stress the idea that thinking positively can help us to stay healthy and reach our goals in life. This has also been covered in best-selling books such as The Secret by Rhonda Byrne or Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. As part of these videos, we'll have a look at the power of thought and see initially how what we think affects our physical health. I think the most interesting question to ask, however, is can our thoughts actually cause measurable changes to physical matter outside of us? I've actually looked at several experiments that could indicate the effect of our thoughts goes further than just us. The idea that our minds may somehow be linked to and able to alter the environment and people around us relates to the theory in quantum physics of a universal informational field, or a field of consciousness connecting everything together. This may also be referred to as a Higgs field. In spiritual terms, when you take into account that this field is everywhere at once and seems to have immense intelligence, when you look at the complexity of things like DNA, might lead to it being termed God. One piece of evidence that we could all be entwined together as part of a field is quantum entanglement. Entanglement is where you have 2 particles, such as electrons or photons, which are light particles, that have interacted in such a way that even when they are great distances apart, they can still influence each other. When a change is made to one, it seems to change the other one instantly. It was previously considered impossible that anything could, even information, could take place faster than the speed of light. However, a team of scientists led by Zhang Ying at the University of Science and Technology in Shanghai have recently carried out experiments in which the process of entanglement between 2 photons was recorded to be happening at a minimum of at least 10,000 times the speed of light. There are also a lot of scientists that are venturing into ideas, new ideas, such as ones that were previously only considered to be spiritual or religious ideas. One of the ultimate goals in science is trying to come up with an explanation of how everything works. This might be referred to as a unified field theory or a theory of everything. Basically, an idea of a theory of everything is trying to come up with physics in the form of mathematics that combines 2 areas of science: quantum physics, which deals with the very small, such as tiny subatomic particles, and the theory of relativity, which deals with larger objects, including planets and solar systems, as well as the laws of gravity. The goal is to take these 2 areas of science and make them compatible with each other, so that all the equations agree and they don't contradict each other. The behaviour of matter starts to get really interesting when you get down to the very small scale. You think of the atom, for example. You've got a nucleus in the middle with positively charged protons. You've got the neutrons, which have no charge, and then you've got these electrons whizzing around the outside. If you look at these tiny subatomic particles like the electron and proton and see how they behave, you come across a principle known as wave-particle duality. This means that particles can behave as a solid particle just like a marble, but they can also behave as a wave, which you could think of something like waves at the beach, where one wave hits a rock and then clashes with another wave, causing them to interfere with each other. In the same way, an interference pattern can be seen with particles such as electrons, using experiments such as one called the double-slit experiment. This can be seen with particles up to the size of buckyballs, which are little nanoparticles made up of carbon atoms. The interesting part of these tiny particles is there seems to be a relationship with observation. For example, a particle does not seem to exist in its physical form until some sort of measurement is taken or it is observed. This means there is the idea that a particle can just be a wave of information everywhere at once until someone consciously observes it. You think about what makes us different from something like a rock. Human and rocks both contain some of the exact same elements, such as oxygen, hydrogen and carbon, and they are made up of the same tiny little building blocks as humans. But humans are considered to be conscious, where a rock is not. Does this mean that if you have the right combination of these little particles or elements, that you can somehow create consciousness? Many ancient cultures seem to believe that in a spirit that was connected to an infinite source. And the idea of a field of consciousness may well be a modern day scientific version of this. The more we understand of these ideas and the nature of the reality around us, then the more we'll be able to determine what is possible and how we can make the most productive decisions in our life. I'll see you in the next 2 videos, where we'll look at the relationship between our thoughts, our bodies and the physical world around us.